Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today on SAP Fiori. Our speaker is Siddharth, and he'll be discussing the value of Fiori and also reviewing some of the use cases for Krypt applications for Fiori. Siddharth Sukaram, our presenter, is a senior SAP technical consultant at Krypt. He has over 11 years of experience with SAP consulting and project implementation, and also over 15 years with IT experience. His expertise resides in SAP Fiori and SAP HANA modeling. Now on this slide, I'd like to quickly introduce Krypt. Krypt Inc. is a leading SAP consulting partner. We're operating globally. We have over 500,000 hours of SAP consulting in various industries. We provide services such as implementations, upgrades, customizations, all around SAP solutions, including Fiori, HANA, supply chain solutions, and financials. We offer custom solutions, integration services, and we work closely with the SAP team for ramp-ups and testing. Now on the next slide, this is just a quick overview of our proprietary offerings, which complement SAP Suite. The one most relevant to today's webinar is Krypt UX. Krypt UX is our practice of utilizing SAP Fiori and screen personas to enhance the usability of our customers' SAP landscape. Krypt UX encompasses the SAP Fiori apps, which we'll be discussing today on the webinar. Now, just on this next slide, we will go over some quick housekeeping tips before we get started. In this picture, you'll see an image of the GoToWebinar panel. At the end of the webinar, we will have a designated portion for Q&A. If you do have questions either during the webinar or at the end, you can type them into this questions box, and we'll try to address all of the questions at the end of the presentation. If we don't get to all of them, we'll be sure to follow up with you after the webinar. Now on the next slide, this is just an overview of the agenda. Basically, Siddharth will be walking us through kind of a history of how Fiori came to be, some of the business drivers and challenges that companies face and why they choose Fiori, and a quick overview of SAP Fiori, and then we'll dive into some customer use case examples of one of our customers and how we've helped them customize some Fiori apps. Now I'll go ahead and hand it over to Siddharth, and he can begin by walking you through the webinar.
Hi, first of all, I really appreciate your time for attending this webinar. Let me introduce myself. My name is Siddharth Sukumaran, and I'm a senior SAP consultant with the Krypt Inc. My main focus is on user experience. A lot of my experience has been working with the UI. So today I'd like to use this time to discuss SAP's user experience. So first, let me discuss how SAP's user experience evolved. For today, for that, I want to take you to 1990s, our R3 basis system. As you all know, mainframe systems were replaced with R3 systems. R3 system is based on client-server architecture. R3 uses GUI, graphical user interface, to make user interactions, and with the internet gaining more and more importance, SAP is forced to create web browser-based applications. But R3 system did not support communication protocols like TCP/IP and HTTP. So what SAP did is they introduced internet transaction servers that we call it as ITS. So ITS enabled users to retrieve the relevant transaction. It may be sales order create or whatever transaction via a web browser. ITS converted those GUI to HTML pages that we could present it in web browser. Coming to disadvantage of ITS, users were not presented with a user interface familiar to them, like yahoo.com or google.com, like other web-based applications. So SAP introduced BSP, Business Server Pages. With the BSP, SAP overcome the disadvantage of ITS, but BSP programming model is very complex. So to make it simpler, SAP introduced a WebDynPro framework. It is based on model view controller. There is a clear separation between model, where from data comes from, and view is what user sees, and controller is communicates between model and view. Coming to disadvantage of WebDynPro, it's a server-side coding. So only in the desktop we can use it. The world is changing now, so we are now equipped with the mobile devices that allow access to social networks and a number of apps. Customers also transform how they work, how they do business with their customers and employees and vendors. So customers always want to reinvent their business process and reinvent the user experience. So end users wants apps like our social media apps like Facebook or Twitter to do their regular business activities also. So SAP introduced SAP Fiori. It's a new phase for SAP. Then business drivers for Fiori. So before we moved to SAP Fiori, we were using Sky Mobile. Sky Mobile UI was very poor. It solves the purpose of mobility, but any change in SAP using our regular enhancement like implicit or explicit enhancement, we need to change it in SAP as well as in Sky Mobile. So we want to have, it's not cost effective as you know, so we want to have something like cost effective in SAP itself. So not only that, let's say for example, you want to have a UI which is very similar in SAP GUI as well as in web browser based application as well as in Sky Mobile. So we want to have something like homogeneous UI application. And not only that, if you want to have Sky Mobile, we need to have a license for that as well as license for SAP also. And moreover, provisioning for Sky Mobile is very complex and multiple steps involved. So, and if you take our client, we have a lot of approval forms. In all the forms, we have initiators and approvers. Once the initiator initiates the form, it goes to the approver. In all the form, we will have a list of approvers and reviewers maintained in a Z table, and the users can add ad hoc approvers and reviewers. Final approver, we call it as gatekeeper. Once the gatekeeper approves the form, we post the document in the backend. So these involved SAP workflow and UWL. So we need to have a cost-effective application for accessing all SAP workflows and process leveraging existing SAP investments. Coming to challenges at SAP standard applications. As you all know, SAP's standard transactions are meant for you go to a transaction and do multiple actions in it. So that's why you see many screens and tabs in SAP standard application. For some of the employees, it's challenging since we have many screens, required a lot of training, and user errors are unavoidable. So not only that, it's only for desktops, and so implications are low adoption and costly, time consuming, and risking ability to conduct the business. And coming to what is SAP Fiori. So SAP Fiori is a set of out-of-box apps. We can implement them, customize them, or if you want, you can create them from scratch. You either implement them or develop them from scratch. SAP Gateway is mandatory. I'll come to that SAP Gateway later. SAP UI5 is a programming model, a programming language to develop or customize these kind of apps. So the initial release of SAP Fiori had 25 apps, and today n number of Fiori apps. It's growing like anything. And if you take SAP Fiori, it's role-based. So in Fiori, what we do is we turn SAP transactions to apps and show only most relevant information to users. So when sales users opens up Fiori Launchpad, he won't see finance related apps. So he only sees sales related apps. And Fiori is responsive, meaning it works for all form factors. It may be iOS or any tablet or any phone like Android or iOS or any desktop. And if you see Fiori, it's very simple. It's easy to learn. Any Fiori app, what we develop in Krypt, as well as a set of out-of-box apps SAP has given already, it uses 3 screens maximum per use cases. And then if you see, it is coherent. Look and feel of all Fiori apps, what we develop is very similar. And then it's lightweight compared to Webdyn Pro. As I said, it is heavyweight, and Fiori is lightweight. Then SAP has given design for designing and prototyping. We have a tool called Splash and Build. It's free. And then this is Fiori's Coherent Experience. Whatever app you develop, it may be CRM or SRM or HR related apps or anything, all will have some same look and feel. If you see, this is our Launchpad. We are going to see it soon. This is our single point of entry. You see all the SAP apps, SAP Fiori apps here. Not only that, you can, if you want to have a news feed, this is what the news feed is. You can deploy your news feed also here. As I said, it is a entry point for all the SAP Fiori related apps. If SAP Fiori, let's say this is for desktop as well as mobile. And let's say you want to open a SAP Fiori app in your mobile. So what you need to do is, first you need to download SAP Fiori client. This you can download it from Google Play or Apple Store. It's free, and it is based on, it is a native application for both Android as well as iOS device, built with the Cordova framework. And from the Fiori Launchpad, we can launch not only SAP Fiori apps, you can launch SAP UI5 custom apps or Webdyn Pro ABAP applications or any URL like google.com or yahoo.com. As I said, you see news feed, so you can add news feed also into Fiori Launchpad. And another advantage of Fiori Launchpad is SAP screen personas flavor also you can deploy it to Fiori Launchpad. So Fiori Launchpad deployment. So where do you deploy this guy? We have 3 options. If you already have a SAP Enterprise portal, we can reuse them to deploy this Fiori Launchpad. Or if you don't have if you don't have Enterprise portal, then we can go for a web front-end server in combination with the SAP Gateway. So this is the recommended solution for customers if they don't have SAP Enterprise portal. And the third option is SAP HANA Cloud Platform. This is where we can deploy this SAP Fiori Launchpad. So coming to Gateway, as I said, Gateway is mandatory for SAP Fiori. So what is Gateway? Well, it's a OData API into an SAP system. So it creates OData service. OData service can be consumed by any software or any device that can communicate using HTTP protocols. So OData interface is implemented using XML or JSON. Both of these formats are well known. It's a plain text protocols for the transmission of information over the web. Any web developer, so that's the advantage of another Fiori advantage is like any web developer will be able to understand the message content, what OData service is giving, without needing to have any knowledge in SAP. And then if you see architecture of SAP Fiori, it has client browser layer. This is where actual consumption of Fiori apps takes place, and then reverse proxy layer. This gets the request from client and directs it to the appropriate backend servers. It gives additional security and controls the flow of traffic between clients and servers. So that's the reason SAP recommends using SAP Web Dispatcher as a reverse proxy server, and then ABAP front-end server and back-end server. This is where Gateway comes into picture. So ABAP front-end server contains components and OData services, as I said. ABAP back-end server contains back-end business logic. On the high level, communication between the client, which is your mobile maybe, and the ABAP front-end server happens via the OData service. So Gateway comes into picture here. Communication between ABAP front-end server and the back-end server happens via trusted RFC call. Coming to deployment of SAP Gateway, we have two options. Either it can be deployed on top of any SAP box. It may be ECC or it may be CRM or SRM. That we say that we say as embedded deployment, or you can deploy SAP Gateway as a separate box and connect all the boxes like ECC or CRM or SRM connect to Gateway also. That we call it as central hub. Coming to Fiori app types, we have three types of apps we can create it. One is transactional apps. For that, we don't need any. We don't need HANA database. It can be any database. It's for transactional related activities like creating or changing or approving anything. Coming to analytical apps, for sure we need a HANA database. Without that, we cannot create analytical apps. It's for users to analyze and evaluate operational KPIs in real time on a large volume of data. That's why we need HANA database. And coming to fact sheet apps, it's a 360-degree view of a specific object. So these are the three types of apps we have. And this one, a Fiori Launchpad designer, we have a separate web-based application for designing the Fiori Launchpad. So here, as you see in the Fiori Launchpad, we see all the apps as a tiles. So tile is associated with the catalogs. First, for that, first we need to create a catalog and then group, then create a tile. This group is assign in the role, PFCG role, we assign the group. So this is how we create files in the Fiori Launchpad. Coming to SAP UI5 development environment, we have three options. SAP recommends to go for Web IDE. It may be based on cloud or on-premise. In case of cloud, you need to go for HANA Cloud Platform. If it is on-premise, you can install Web IDE in the server so that anybody can access it, or you can install it in your local machine also. This is the latest one. Other things are like Eclipse and OpenUI5, those are outdated. And coming to customer use case, let me share these use cases. In our client, what client's customer engineer does is he goes to customer side and looks for issues on the tool, and if there is any issue, what he wants to create the service cases on the fly in the CRM. So if you create service case in SAP CRM Web UI, it takes minimum 10 to 15 minutes. He needs to log into laptop and then log into portal and then create it. With the app we have given, with a single tap on his mobile, he will be seeing the screen to create the service cases. So with this, he can create service cases in 2 minutes maximum. Moreover, he will only see what he needs to fill, like what is the tool and what is the problem description. So it is very simple and it's very fast also. Coming to the next use case, as I said, before we moved to SAP Fiori, we were using Sky Mobile. It solves the purpose of mobility, but any change in SAP using any enhancement, we need to change it in SAP as well as Sky Mobile, so it's not cost effective. And since our customer engineers started using mobility device a lot, we were in need of homogeneous UI also. So we want to avoid multiple licensing and provisioning of Sky Mobile is very complex. We went for SAP Fiori. And then the next use case is our SRM shopping cart approval. It's a standard application what SAP has given already. What we did is we deployed the SAP standard Fiori shopping cart approval app, and then we extended to our requirements. We added header level fields as well as item level fields. And then we configured the extended app in the Fiori Launchpad. Then we implemented a single sign-on, we call it as SSO. And then we provided access only through secure mobile client app. And then, so this is our Fiori shopping cart approval app. As you see, most of our apps follow master detail view. What you see in the first mobile is Fiori Launchpad, and you see only one tile since he has only that role assigned to him. In the next mobile, what you see is master view and see most important information about shopping cart, like cart number, priority of the cart. It can be normal or high priority. Then he sees amount and currency also. In the third mobile, you see all the item details like quantity, subtotal, descriptions, and more. If there is any attachments, you can see it in the third mobile. And then coming to third use case, we have a lot of approval forms. In all the form, we have initiators and approvers. Once initiator initiates, it goes to the approver, and the final approver approves it. We post the document. So we need some application, some app for accessing all SAP workflows and UWL. So for all these, the answer is SAP Fiori. Sorry. So this is our GTS app. As I said, we follow master detail application here too. It displays all the blocked BPs. They can go to this app and check all the details about the BP. And if needed, they can release the BP. This is also a master detail application. And you see only the GTS app, because that is the role he has got it. And as I said, you can feed your news here. News feed also possible in the Fiori Launchpad. If you want in the backend, you can go and add, you can block the BP, and if you come and see the app, it will be blocked. As you see, this is our master view of the master view application. You see most important details like BP name, business partner name, business partner number, what is the country key. And if you tap the business partner, you go and see the business partner details of particular business partner. And in the right hand side, the corner, you see a button where you can release it. As I said, it routes to a list of approvers, and the final approver approves it. It goes and release the BP. That's it. So let's see key decisions when we go for Fiori. First thing is which modules to focus on. Based on that, you have to keep the gateway deployment. As I said, it can be embedded deployment or central hub deployment. If you go for only ECC, then you can deploy the gateway on top of ECC. The next is target device. It can be any device, iOS or Android. And then next is screens. Best approach is to have 3 screens per use case. Then get the inputs from team members and stakeholders, and then analyzing data models, how are going to get the data. It may be from already existing RFCs or BAPIs, etc. And then next we'll see what is the return on investment. So since user is going to deal with the maximum 3 screens per use case, we will have less training, less user cases, user errors, and less number of change requests also. So users will be highly satisfied, productivity will be increased, since you can access business documents anywhere and anytime. IT and business are well aligned, as well as you have seen its simplified landscape. Key points is no license required, but depends on project. Then no dependency on HANA, but it is compatible with the HANA database also. Krypt interface to Fiori apps, then user-driven design, and then understand your users and security needs, and then role-based customization as per business needs. It brings to Q&A sections. Kellen, anything do you want to add at this time?
No, thanks, Siddharth. If anyone does have any questions, as I mentioned before, feel free to type them into the GoToWebinar questions panel. We do actually have a few questions that have come in already, Siddharth, so I'll go through a few of them, and if any more pop up, we can address those. Also, everyone, our contact information is listed here. You can reach out to us directly if you have more detailed questions or would like further discussion. The first question we have, Siddharth, is, are your customers currently using these apps with HANA?
No, we have options to go for HANA also, but our customers are in DB2 as well as Oracle, but we did not go for HANA. So my customer did not use regular database, maybe DB2 or Oracle.
Okay, perfect. The next question is, does it matter what version of Fiori you are on in order to leverage the blocked BP app?
Come again?
The question was, does it matter what version of Fiori you're using if
Yes.
you want to leverage the blocked BP app?
Yes, blocked BP apps is it's not depend on Fiori version, so you can implement it in Fiori 1.0 or 2.0. 3.0 is not released yet, so it is compatible with the Fiori 1.0 as well as 2.0.
Okay, great. Another question is, which architecture option does this particular customer use, central or embedded?
Yeah, we went for central hub system because that's what the SAP recommends also. If you go for embedded deployment option, what happens is, suppose in future, if you want to add another box, then the performance will be very slow. So that's why we go for central hub system deployment.
Perfect. Someone asked if this if this webinar was being recorded. It is. We will be sure to distribute a copy of the webinar recording as well as the slides. We'll try to get them to everyone by tomorrow. Doesn't look like any other questions have come in at this moment. But again, thank you everyone for joining. Our contact information is here. You do have mine that you've received through emails, Kayleen@kryptinc.com. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And thanks, Siddharth, for presenting.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.